tree solution, you will have an idea on who are the people that will who are the stakeholders that would benefit from your study. So that would goes into the significance of your study. Eliza, I emailed also another one. So I think it's also the
Okay, I
word.
see.
Yeah, it's also the word for this workshop. The exercise for this workshop, can you also check it out? But later, let's go to this PowerPoint first, okay? So, since now you already have your title, the problem, and you already have the statement of the problem as well as your general and specific objectives, and when you look at the problem tree and problem tree solution, you will also have an idea already of who or who or who are going to be benefited or who will have this with results of the study who would really have the who can really benefit and who will have that significance to their line of work. And in so doing, next slide please. Okay. So when we talk about significance of the study, it's what contribution, okay? It states that what contribution, how it is being offered to certain groups of individuals or institutions or organization. And lastly, it presents the why, the aspect that is the reason for obtaining such benefit from the result of the study. So the different groups of individuals or organizations or institutions that will benefit from the result of the study are presented in the degree of priorities. So for example, if you have, for example, in this KAP, okay, about the health workers, so definitely among patients, about KP on health workers in handling COVID-19 patients. So definitely as to the degree of usefulness, the study would first, who are going to be the first priority in terms of of the usefulness of the study. So definitely it's the patients, right? And next is the health workers. And also so on and so forth. Okay, so the different groups of individuals, organizations, or institutions that will benefit from the result of the study are presented. Okay, so the degrees of priorities. Next slide, please. So this section, the significance of the study, always begins with the introductory sentence. So it's just a sentence, not a paragraph, not a lot of words. Because sometimes there are researchers or students who'd like to make a lot of opening statements in the significance of the idea. And I was even like telling them, yet you just have to make one or two statements. Don't discuss anything because otherwise you won't have anything already to, if you discuss a lot you won't have anything to discuss in the review of literature or in the summary as well as in conclusions or in the discussions. And if you make a lot of discussions or a lot of statements, opening statements or paragraph in the significance of the study, it will be so redundant because I would redundancy will occur because a lot of things already has been stated from the introduction. Okay, and I think I lecture to you already about the background of the study,
Yeah.
guys. Did I
Yes,
lecture
for
to
the
you already about the background? So anyway, I would like you also to add to this the background of the study later. When you anyway, when you go to the review of later literature, I want you also to submit to me the background of the study. Okay? So I think it would be much more better if they go hand in hand. As we discussed before in the background, there should be no related studies or according to studies or whatever. It has to be general ideas to the specific. So I forgot the background of the study should have been also submitted. But anyway, let's have it later. Okay. So in the significance of the study, therefore, it is opening statements could be like it is hoped that the result of the study will benefit the following group of individuals, or the study will be beneficial to the following groups of individuals. The result of the study will benefit the following groups of individuals. So it's like simple as that. You don't have to discuss a lot because in the stakeholders, which means the groups of individuals, then that's the time that you will state. Okay, that's the time that you will describe on how they will benefit and the results of the study. Next slide, please. Okay, so for example, like this is an example. The result of the study may contribute useful information and knowledge in the following. Like the topic that we discussed was about the nurses, on how they perform in the hospital. So it was like nursing education, nursing students. Education means the faculty or the school, the faculty as well as the manpower, and then nursing students, so definitely the students, and then the nursing administrators, which means the school, the institution itself. Okay, so you look at how they discuss it here. So can somebody read the first, then for the significance of the study for the nursing education? Okay, Ariel Pacoma.
From the result of the study, the faculty and students can now identify the appropriate instructional approach and improve the teaching strategy that facilitates enhancement of skills, knowledge, and attitudes.
Okay, very good. So it's now for the topic that we discussed, the example before about how to improve the knowledge and skills of the nurses at the hospital or the students for the particular. They now they state, so in the significance of studies, it's stated on how they will really have the benefit from from the results. Okay, so for the nursing students, Ocobilio, Ocobilio, Angelica Ocobilio, is she around? Hello, Eliza, is
Yes,
Ocobilio
Doc.
around? Okay,
Hello.
okay.
Tawagan. Nursing students, wait, ay, pagsabog. They will benefit from this study because identification of an appropriate instructional approach would enhance their level of performance suited to their learning needs in terms of academic achievement, skills, demonstration, and attitudes.
Okay. And next, Hidalgo Reangelo for the nursing administration. Hello,
Yes, po, Doc.
Hidalgo.
Yes, Doc.
Okay. Please.
Uh, uh, the result of the study. I already spoke this, Doc, po.
Okay. Okay. I can hear you. Continue. Wala? I think you're muted, Angelo. Okay, again, you're muted. We cannot hear you.
Significance of the study. The result of the study may contribute useful information and knowledge to the following. Nursing education. From the result of the study, the faculty and the students can now identify an appropriate instructional approach and improve the teaching strategy that facilitates the enhancement of skills, knowledge, and attitudes. Nursing students, they will benefit from the study because identification of an appropriate instructional approach will enhance their level of performance suited to their learning needs in terms of academic achievement, skills demonstrations, and attitudes. Nursing administrators, it will help them identify whether traditional teaching or team teaching provides the learning needs of nursing students. Moreover, they can employ competent faculty who are qualified for the instructional approach that are traditional and team teaching.
Okay, very good. Next slide. So that's how you will make your significance of the study. Okay. So not in a paragraph form, but to identify the stakeholders or who are going to benefit from that particular study. So the logic and congruence will be observed. Next, that's why with the problem tree analysis that you made, you can identify the stakeholders. Okay, so the scope. Let's go now for the scope and delimitation of the study. So the scope answers the questions of what, where, when, who, and how. So what refers to the main topic or objective that the researcher is pursuing, where, the area or locality, when, the time frame or duration of the study, who, the participants of the respondents, and how the manner the study will be pursued. So that's the scope as well as the limitation of the study. Next slide, please. So So when talk about limitation, it's etymologically the word delimitation means an act of delimiting or reducing certain thing into specifics. Like on the other hand, limitation would mean would mean or weakness. Okay, would mean weakness. And in any study, limitation refers to statements that emphasize the constraints of the study that are beyond the control of the researcher. Okay? So, in this sense, the term limitation is more appropriate to use. Okay? So, instead of scope and limit, usually some uses scope and delimitation, but the current trends or the more appropriate one is the scope and limitation of the study. Okay, as the title. Next slide, please. So this is, for example, of the scope and limitation of the study. There's no need to how do you call it, to make a lot of paragraphs like describing the whole process and such. And it's usually one of the dilemma of the researchers is because they want to incorporate everything within the scope and the limitation of the study. Okay. So for that matter, I would like to call on T. Neil Raff, T. Neil Ralph to read the scope and limitation of the study.
Good morning, Doc. The study
Okay.
aimed to identify the factors affecting implementation of care, caring model based on patient satisfaction, in which a caring program will be or has been developed. This is or was limited to the general words of the Hospital ng Makati. The data needed for the study will be or were obtained through the use of a questionnaire for a period of 1 week. The respondents of the study will be or were the patients whose age is or was at least 18 years in normal mental condition and will be or have been hospitalized for a minimum of 4 days. The findings of the study, particularly the weakness of the existing caring model, will serve as the basis for the development of the caring model. The expected outcome of the proposed caring model will be or is the standardization of nursing care behaviors geared towards increasing the level of patient satisfaction.
Okay. Have you have you noticed the bar? Because the first word is for if ever it's just a proposal. So it means in a future tense. And then the other one, like for example, he or has been developed, which will be or has been developed, which means it is in the past tense. So the proposal is on the future tense, but in the past tense is when you are already done with your studies. So that's why the protocol has to be well developed in a future tense so that when you will make the final report when you already have your results and you are now ready when you are presenting your results and you are ready for the wait a minute you are now ready for the conclusion as well as for the discussions. So that's the time that you will change everything from the first page down below into the past tense. Okay, next slide please. Next slide please, Liza.
Doc, last slide na po yan.
That was the last slide. Okay. So at this point in time, we'll have the workshop on the scope and limitation of the study based on the problem, the objectives of the study that you will make. So just make somehow you already have an idea who are your respondents and just make something up for now since we don't have the methodology yet, but at least you can somehow come up with the scope and limitation of the study. Okay, Eliza, can you show them the word for that?
Okay po, Doc.